Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Belmont Park on closing Sunday is the River Memories Stakes. We're going to take a look at this field of fillies and mares getting set to go 1.5 miles on the Widener turf course. $150,000 is the purse. The 8 Thankful is entered main track only. The 3 Luck Money. When I talked to Arnaud Delacour early in the week, he seemed inclined to run at Delaware on Saturday. Really the key to this race, Mike, is the 6, Civil Union. Did you think Civil Union at this point last year would be 9-2 in the 2021 River Memories?
No, probably not. I mean, she did win this race last year and went on to do some good things after that. It's only 2 starts so far this year, Dan. I feel like you could sort of make excuses for both of those races, actually. And so it'll be interesting to see if she can rebound here. If she does, I think she's supposed to be tough.
Let's take a look at the Timeform U.S. pace projector. Now, we know one thing about Civil Union. She kind of likes to let the pace go. The fact that she is so close to the pace projector makes me think that this pace is going to be on the slow side. Virginia Joy has some speed. Call Me Love has some speed, but I think their connections would rather have those horses have a target. Maybe Palace Athene stretching out and stepping way up in class will show the way at a big price.
Yeah, maybe they'll go forward with her as she stretches back out. I don't know. She didn't look competitive to me, so I don't know if it matters if the one goes to the lead. We'll see what they do with in particular, Virginia Joy, Dan, because I really don't view her as a speed horse. She was relatively close in the New York last time, which was run at a solid clip, but her other races don't really point her out as a horse who wants to be forward.
As for Palace Athene, the last time we saw her in New York, she was a winner, but that was a $35,000 non-winners of 3 Life at Aqueduct, and she's finished second in her last 2 races out of town. Couldn't win at 1-2 at Belterra last time. I'm not sure that portends for good things in the River Memories.
Yeah, I mean, she just doesn't look competitive with these kinds of horses. Stretching back out could be a good thing for her, but I thought she was hard to like in this race.
Muta Makina, the number 2, seems to me like the kind of mare that's going to need some pace up front. She came with a strong run to win the Long Island after being very unlucky in her North American debut, the Zagora. She's had 2 starts this year. She ran well in the Sheepshead Bay, and maybe, just maybe, that yielding ground coupled with a wide trip worked against her last time.
Yeah, I feel like maybe being wide last time could be some kind of an excuse. At the end of the day, Dan, I just feel like the New York, considering the field that she was facing there, I just think that race was too tough for her. This is a pretty nice mare. This is a better spot for her, dropping a little bit out of the New York. I think she'll get the 1.5 miles. There's a lot to like about her. She's a major player in this race.
We talked about Luck Money's merits in the stakes preview for Delaware on Saturday. If she was to run here, I think she would be a contender. She fits well with these sort of horses. And as we talked about in that last preview, in the last race, just the trip and ride didn't work out.
Yeah, that didn't work out. She was off the layoff there as well. She ran fine. They should probably run her in the Delaware race, though. That's an easier spot.
Call Me Love, the number 4. Let's watch her most recent start. Her first victory in North America. She's down towards the inside in this race under Junior Alvarado. And as you can see, Junior is looking for some room, looking for some room, looking for some room, looking for some room. There it is. And now she's going to split some horses and she's going to assert her class and get up to win by a head. Only an 83 buyer, but there wasn't a ton of pace for her. She was very game to win this race.
I agree. She was very game to win that race. Obviously, she'll have to do better than that as she steps back up. But that was, I think they probably did the right thing there, got her some class relief, and finally got her a win here since joining Clement's barn, because she was overdue to get one. I don't know, Dan. I don't think either you or I were huge fans of hers when she got over here last year, but she ran a couple of nice races against good horses.
I agree. I was not her biggest fan, but I do wonder if stretching back out to 1.5 miles is going to help her. I'm not sure about that, but I am sure that Alvarado's a great turf rider. Now, Mr. Clement doesn't usually like to send his horses on the speed route. I would send Call Me Love. I would try to control this race from the start and try to grind them into the ground. That might make them very tough. Virginia Joy goes out for Chad Brown. She was a winner in her North American debut. She tripped out in the New York. She was just no match for the top 3 finishers that day, but she ran a 97 buyer. And obviously, if she runs that race, she's going to be tough. 1.5 miles, I don't think it's going to be bad for her.
Yeah, I don't mind them going longer with her either. Going back to her form in Germany as a 3-year-old, she ran some really good races going longer. And I, personally felt like she was probably best in the German Oaks. She had a big excuse that day. Ran a really good race. I thought she ran fine last time. Her stateside debut, that's one of those races that makes it hard to predict where she's going to be early in here because she was way out of it there. That pace was solid, and she took advantage a little bit. But she also ran a pretty nice race there. I thought she ran fine last time. I guess in some ways she's the horse to beat then. I don't know if I would bet her as the favorite.
Civil Union, the number 6. Again, she was 9-2 when she won this race last year, but then she went on to win the Glens Falls, win the Grade 1 Flower Bowl, and be beat less than 2 lengths in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, where I don't think she had a very good trip at all. Now, as Mike mentioned in the Open, she has excuses for her 2 races this year. The Beaugay was just a paceless race, controlled up front basically by Harvey's Little Goyle, and Civil Union it was her first race off the layoff, and you could tell, I think, that she was a bit short. And last time out, that yielding ground and the way that race shaped up didn't work for her either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could maybe give her the yielding turf excuse last time. Maybe she just didn't like it. I mean, that's not a given, certainly, but I feel like it's at least worth considering. I just thought it was also interesting that Rosario sort of took a pretty big hold of her early in that race because she could have been closer in there. He grabbed her pretty hard early, took her to the outside. She never saved any ground. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to suggest that she ran well last time because she didn't. But I feel like you could make some excuses. And obviously that was a tougher race than this one. I think this is the right spot for her, Dan. She has to prove that she's as good now as she was last year. But if she is, this is a race that she could easily win, and she might be a fair price.
The sleeper from a pace perspective is the 7, Delta's Kingdom. Maybe Delta's Kingdom tries to get forward under an aggressive Luis Saez. Last time out in the Kirtana, Delica just ran away in the early portion of that race. Delta's Kingdom was leading the second flight, and she just really never got into it in a race where no one other than the winner, Temple City Terror, did any late running. But her race 2 back in the Witch, I thought, was pretty good, and the winner of that race is a very nice mare.
Yeah, that's true. She did run okay in that race 2 starts back. The distance seems like it's no problem for her. I mean, she's been around it, hit the board in a few graded stakes races going long on the turf. So it feels like she has to have some kind of a chance in here, Dan. I can't say I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm not sure that I think she's necessarily as good as, say either the 5 or the 6 in this race. But I guess she wouldn't be a total shocker.
Top pick time for the River Memory Stakes. Mike's going back to the defending champ, Civil Union, 9-2 on the morning line. Certainly a fair price. I think you can make excuses for her last 2 starts, and getting out to even more distance can work for her. And I think the pace is going to be slow. This might just turn into a kick fest. Who has the best kick the final quarter of a mile? Civil Union has shown that strong kick in the past.
Yeah, she's a true stayer too. She stays on all day long. So the 1.5 miles feels like it's actually probably good for her too. This is kind of the final chance for me, Dan. I feel like this is a great spot for her if she can show up. If they bet the race along the morning line with her at 9-2 and Virginia Joy a very short price, I'm happy to bet the 6.
Virginia Joy has the tactical speed to be close. We're going to find out how good she is. She ran well in the New York, but again, she did have a very good trip saving ground in behind the leaders. I think if she runs that last race, she's going to be tough, and she might get the jump on everybody turning for home. I'll go with Virginia Joy. Mike's going Civil Union. It's the River Memories. It is the final stakes race at Belmont. We're heading to Saratoga. Good luck.